Welcome back, cadets. It's me again, Captain Cut Time. Today we're going to talk about auxiliary percussion. I understand that many of you aren't very excited to play auxiliary percussion. However, I need to stress that auxiliary percussion can sometimes be the icing on the cake that makes every band piece sound good. I would like to start off with the tambourine. A lot of people try to pick up the tambourine and play it the way that they see in movies and in TV shows by taking the instrument and slapping it or hitting it against their head. I need to stress that this is a proper percussion instrument and should be treated as such. The way I like to approach the tambourine is I like to hold it in my left hand because I am right-handed. If you are left-handed, you can hold it in your non-dominant hand. I like to hold the tambourine at approximately a 45-degree angle and strike with my dominant hand. If I want to play a loud excerpt, I form a fist with my playing hand, and I want to make sure that the knuckles are flat in line with the palm of my hand, and that is the area I'm going to be striking with on the tambourine. Again, for loud excerpts, I want to strike nice and loud and right in the center of the instrument. It's also very important that you hold the instrument up nice and high so the audience can see what you're playing and what you're doing. Now, if I want to play soft, I like to form a little point with my thumb, my middle finger, and my ring finger and play right at the very edge of the instrument. It also helps if you take the palm of your hand and rest it in the center to give you more of an anchor of when you play. Sometimes in the music you will see the composer has written for a tambourine roll. To achieve a tambourine roll, I recommend that you start and you end your roll with a strike. Now, in between that, you are going to simply shake the tambourine with your holding hand, and again, start and end each roll with a strike. That's an example of a loud roll, and here's an example of a soft roll. This instrument is the woodblock. Now, when playing the woodblock, you have a couple different options. If what you're playing is pretty simple and you can play it with one hand, you can hold the instrument in the palm of your hand, similar like you would the clavinet. Now, it is very important that we select the right mallet to play the woodblock. What I have picked here is a hard rubber mallet that will give the woodblock its most resonant tone. What you do not want to do is use a pair of drumsticks. A pair of wooden drumsticks can cause damage to the woodblock and damage the instrument. So, again, to play, you want to strike in the center of the woodblock, right over this kind of skinny part of the opening. If what you're playing is a little bit faster and you cannot play it with one hand, you can take a music stand or a trap table, lie it down on your table, and play again with a pair of matched hard rubber mallets. This instrument is the triangle. I would say out of all the auxiliary instruments, the triangle is the most important, as you will see it most commonly in the music that you play. Again, with a lot of the other auxiliary instruments, it's very easy to play this one improperly. Again, it's a music instrument, we need to treat it as such. The first part of the triangle is the triangle clip. Now, what you'll see here is a standard clip with a little bit of wire hanging down below. This is what holds the triangle in place. To hold the triangle clip, you want to form a C with your thumb and ring finger and gently rest the clip in between that C. What you can do with your index finger is you can wrap it around the top, just so you can ensure you have a nice firm grip on the instrument. Now with this particular triangle, as you can see, it's not an equilateral triangle. Therefore, I like to make sure that the clip hangs from the two longest sides of the triangle. Again, we form the letter C with our thumb and middle finger. We wrap our index finger across the top. And then, when we are ready to strike the instrument, I recommend that you pick one corner. It could be the one closest to the clip, or it could be the one away from the clip. Either one will work just fine. The two places you do not want to strike the triangle is on the open side or directly in the middle of the bar. So again, I form the letter C, hold the instrument nice and high. I pick a corner, and now when I strike the instrument, I want to pretend like I'm drawing the sound away from the instrument. Okay? Imagine a string, and I'm just drawing it away. Now again, we want to let the triangle resonate. We want to let the triangle ring. And this is what it sounds like from the other corner. You can get a couple different sounds from the instrument. It all just depends on what you think is best and what your conductor thinks is best. This instrument is the crash cymbals. Now it's very important that we treat this particular instrument with respect. These aren't toys. It's not funny to go behind your best friend and crash as loud as you possibly can. These instruments are probably the loudest instrument in the entire band. So, to hold the crash cymbals, find the strap, and similar to playing the snare drum, you want to pinch the strap between your thumb and your index finger in between the first and second knuckle. Just like that. Okay. Now, there are loops to this strap. For the music that we're playing, it's really not necessary to have to put your hand through the loops. Just pinching the strap, just like this, is just fine. For our left hand, we want to use the same type of grip. Okay? Now, when playing the crash cymbals, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, how I like to play is I like to have one cymbal be stationary, and then I like to use the other cymbal to strike the stationary instrument. To achieve this, I'm going to hold the cymbal at about a 45-degree angle with my stationary instrument. Then, with my striking instrument, I'm going to strike the cymbal and scoop upwards. Okay? Now, when I strike the stationary cymbal, I want to aim about 2 to 3 inches away from the edge. One thing you do not want to do is strike perfectly together, because what that will do is create a vacuum inside of the space between the cymbals, and they'll get stuck together. So again, you're going to hold the cymbal at about 45-degree angle. You're going to essentially scoop in and up, aiming for about 2 to 3 inches away from the edge. So what we're trying to achieve is to get both cymbals to vibrate and let the sound ring. Sometimes in the music, the composer will write for a cymbal choke. That means the composer wants the cymbals to strike their sound and immediately be released. To achieve that, once we play, we're going to press both cymbals against our shoulders to stop the sound. The instrument is the suspended cymbal. Essentially, it is just like our crash cymbal, except it's mounted on a stand, and we play them with a pair of yarn mallets. There's a couple different ways that you can play the suspended cymbal. One of the most common you will see is a suspended cymbal roll. To achieve a suspended cymbal roll, you want to roll on opposite sides of the cymbal, right at the very edge. When we roll on the cymbal, it will be a single stroke, and depending on how fast or slow the music is, you want to adjust your roll speed according to the tempo of the music. For example, if I were to be playing a really slow piece, I would want to slow my roll speed. However, if I was playing a faster piece, again, I would want to speed up my roll speed. Depending on the music, the composer might want the sound to ring and resonate. If that's the case, you simply roll and let the sound resonate. Similar to the crash cymbals, there might be a time where the composer would want you to roll on the cymbal and release the sound at a very specific point. At that point, you're going to want to stop one of your hands rolling and get ready to pinch the cymbal to get the sound to stop. Sometimes the composer will write for a suspended cymbal to be played with a drumstick, and again, you want to think about striking the cymbal anywhere from 2 to 3 inches from the edge, so the sound resonates nice and clear. Occasionally, the composer will write for the cymbal to be played on the dome part. That is the kind of crown part towards the center of the cymbal, and you simply play directly on that. If you have any questions on any of the auxiliary instruments that we talked about today, feel free to email the address below, and remember, keep practicing.